I took Ritalin for 2 years and Adderall for 1 year, and the differences were just not what I expected them to be. It's not like one worked and one didn't work. It's how they worked, how they made me feel, and how they changed my day. By the way, I'm not a doctor. These are just my experiences with Adderall and with Ritalin. Before meds, I was just a mess. I was being distracted. I couldn't finish things. I couldn't start things. I was hyper-focused, sometimes on the wrong thing, and that just messed up my whole day. And with Ritalin, I noticed I did go really quickly from no focus to completely focused, but it wasn't just all at once that I felt it. I would just be doing something, I know that I've taken it, and then all of a sudden, I would feel like I'm more focused, I can do things a lot easier, and I knew at that point that it was working. It's more like you ever flown a plane and your plane goes really high, and then there's this smooth kind of ride, and then it will come down and land. That's how Ritalin actually feels for me. And one of the biggest improvements with taking Ritalin is that I can stay focused on one thing and work on that thing. I won't get distracted. I can get more accomplished and done when I do take Ritalin. And one of the biggest drawbacks is that there is a Ritalin crash for me. It's like I'm focused and all of a sudden I'm not focused. It's not just a drastic drop, but it definitely, I notice it when I'm like, okay, I'm not focusing as much anymore. I'm really distracted right now. Oh, Ritalin has worn off, and I know it at that point. And I know Ritalin does not last as long as Adderall. It's 2 to 4 hours for the effectiveness. I think I get 3 to 4 hours out of it, so that's pretty good, but it just depends on your metabolism. If you metabolize things really fast, then you may get less towards the lower end of it. If you metabolize things really slow, then you may get more to the max. And here's something I noticed about Ritalin and Adderall is that, yes, they help me focus, but if I'm focusing on the wrong thing, the unimportant thing, watching a cat video or something like that, what's gonna happen is I'm gonna really focus on those wrong and unimportant things. As opposed to, I wanna make sure that I'm actually using Ritalin and Adderall for the right purpose. So I want to make sure that I'm focused, or I'm trying to do something that's important, something I need to get done, and then I'm able to get that thing done when I'm taking the medication. But don't do like I did and focus on the wrong thing, because you might just stay looking at cat videos all day instead of doing something that you actually need to do and get accomplished. And with Adderall, I really feel it when it kicks in, because I go from no focus to focus super quick, super fast. It's kind of like 0 miles per hour, no focus, 1,000 miles per hour when I have Adderall. That is how it feels when it goes into my system. And think about it is, when I have taken Adderall, I know it's going to last 4 to 6 hours. Sometimes 4, sometimes 5, sometimes it lasts the whole time. It just depends on the day. And so what that means is, because I've gone really quickly up to all this focus, then when I actually feel the effects of coming down on Adderall, there is a super noticeable crash, because now you're just all the focus in the world, no focus at all, really quickly. And if hearing about my experiences with Ritalin and Adderall is helping you and you're getting value out of the content, then subscribe to the channel. And one of the biggest advantages of taking Adderall is that I do feel more driven. I do get more done because I can focus on that one thing, and I'm going to push through until I get that one thing finished. Now, one of the biggest disadvantages of taking Adderall for me is that I would just space out sometimes on Adderall. It would happen enough that people would notice it. They'd call my name or being explain something to me, and I would just not respond at all. And so that's not a good thing. So that's one of the biggest things that I didn't like about taking Adderall. And here's a quick comparison of both. Am I focused? Can I stay on task? Both Adderall and Ritalin do that for me. Am I motivated? Adderall actually kept me more motivated to get the task done. And which one helps me stay calm when interrupted? Ritalin is better for me, because with Adderall, more driven, I really don't want to be interrupted once I'm taking Adderall. And so for me, Ritalin makes me really just level, just steady. Adderall just makes me more locked in into whatever I'm doing. And for example, say I had to clean the kitchen. With Ritalin, I would take it, I start cleaning the kitchen, I would do as much as I can all the way through and stay focused all the way through. As opposed to Adderall, I start cleaning the kitchen, I would be really driven about trying to get the kitchen done, and I would go until the kitchen was done. And here's a comparison of some side effects with Adderall and Ritalin. For example, appetite. Both of these medications suppress my appetite. I did not feel like I was hungry or even want to eat anything. But with Ritalin, the shorter duration would help me actually have an appetite later in the day, because once it wears off, then the appetite suppression would wear off as well too. As opposed to Adderall, it could be a lot longer. And so sometimes I may not eat at all because my appetite is just suppressed all day. And then I would just be really hungry late at night, or I just wouldn't eat that day, which is not a good thing. And here's what I do to make sure that I have an appetite at some point during the day. I work out and I exercise. I'm gonna burn all those calories when I work out. So that means I need fuel. I need to put something in my body. And that's the way I keep an appetite during the day. And also this helped me as well is because I work out, I know that I have to get a certain amount of protein and carbohydrates and everything during the day. So I would plan my meals to make sure I got all that in. And that way, even if I was not hungry at all, my appetite was suppressed, I knew I had to eat something at these certain times to make sure I got enough of the calories and nutrients in my body. And now let's talk about sleep. Both of these medications will keep me up at night. If I take them too late in the day, I'm not going to get any sleep that night. So I really have to figure out what time I want to take it and what time is too late. For me, it's about 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I can't really take it after that time. Now, with some people I talk to, Ritalin, Adderall makes them sleepy. They're just fine taking it whenever, but that's not me. I can't do it. So I have to make sure that I take it at the right time. And if it's past the time for me to take it, then I just have to not take it that day and then take it the next day. Here's some of the do that will help you take your medication is that you take your pill case, you put your pill case somewhere by the door that you're going to go out in the morning, or put it somewhere that you walk by every day. You do not miss walking by that place. That way, when you walk to that place or walk towards the door, you'll see your pill case and that will remind you to take your medication. So that way you don't miss a dose. And both Ritalin and Adderall made my hands shaky. So trying to do this and hold my hands straight, it'd just be shaking all around. Or when I went to pick up something, if they were shaking too bad, I'd have to go ahead and set that thing down, wait, and come back to pick it up later. That's one of the things I didn't like about either of the medications. And both Ritalin and Adderall made me more anxious. It was less on Ritalin than it was on Adderall because you just are more driven on Adderall, but still in both cases, I was more anxious. And both Ritalin and Adderall make my heart beat faster. I put my hand on my chest, I can feel my heart beating faster when I take either of them. I think it's just part of both of them being a stimulant, and that happens when you're taking a stimulant. And both Ritalin and Adderall actually raise my blood pressure. I didn't realize this when I first started taking a stimulant, that is part of taking a stimulant. And so the first time I went in, my blood pressure was high. I wasn't sure what was going on. Then I realized because I'm taking either Ritalin or Adderall that it is going to be higher. And so that's just something that I had to get used to if I was going to take either of these medications. And both Ritalin and Adderall give me nausea. It's about 30 minutes of nausea that can be really bad. It's worse on the Adderall for sure. I don't know why that is. That's just my experience, but they definitely both give me nausea. And then after that 30 minutes, I feel fine, feels okay. And let's talk about dry mouth. The Ritalin dry mouth is much worse than the Adderall dry mouth in my opinion. Just my experience that because when I take Ritalin, my mouth gets super dry. I always have to have something to drink, some water or something, so I can drink it and get rid of the dry mouth. Not sure why it's so bad, but in my case, Ritalin dry mouth is just really bad. And I learned something important. Whether it's Adderall or Ritalin, they don't give me extra skills. They don't build a system for me. They just help me focus on whatever is in front of me or whatever I'm trying to do. When I go and start to try to do that thing, they help me stay focused on accomplishing the task. And I still have to pick the activity that I'm gonna do. I still have to get up and go to the place I'm going to start that thing. But here's the thing, because I can focus more when I go to try to learn something, I can learn more because I can stay focused for a longer amount of time. Or I start something and I can focus more to get finished and get through that thing. And maybe that's an assignment at work, maybe it's a class assignment. But either way, it's gonna help you accomplish more. And if you're thinking about starting to take Adderall or Ritalin, these are things that I would do differently. I would definitely track my sleep, my appetite, and my mood over about a 2-week period just to see where I am. And that would tell me the areas that I need help in the most. And how is the medication working for you? Are you able to get more stuff done? Able to pay attention at work? Able to get schoolwork done? Are you able to see that it is working for you? And something else I would do is plan your day if you're taking Ritalin. And the reason is because you want to figure out when's the best time for you to take Ritalin, because Ritalin actually wears off in about 4 hours, sometimes less than that. And so you're probably going to need another dose in the afternoon to cover your whole work day. And so you want to know when is the best time to take it in the morning and when's the best time to take it in the afternoon so it does cover my whole work day. And something else I would do is make sure I get protein in my body early. Your body needs protein anyway, and getting some protein in your body helps your brain, helps you to think better throughout the day. And I'd also make sure I'm getting enough water, I'm drinking enough, especially if you're having dry mouth. Drinking water, having water around you is a good thing. Plus, your body needs water anyway. You don't want to get dehydrated, because if you are dehydrated, then that can increase some of the effects of ADHD anyway. So make sure you're keeping yourself hydrated. And also, don't skip meals. Figure out some way that is going to get you hungry throughout the day, whether it's exercise or whatever you need to do. You don't want to skip meals. You don't want to go the whole day without having anything to eat. So you want to make sure you figure out some way that's going to make you a little bit hungry so you can get something inside you throughout the day. Or you can just schedule your meals and just eat whether you're hungry or not at that time, just to make sure that you're getting food in you. And communicate with your doctor openly, because they need to know everything you're going through, whether it's working, whether it's not working, whether you get dry mouth, whether you might have an elevated blood pressure, your heart's beating faster, any of those things, any of the other side effects you might be feeling, so they can determine, are you on the right medication? Do you need to change? Do you need a different dosage? And go through the whole process of finding the right medication for you. And after 3 years, 2 on Ritalin, 1 on Adderall, I feel like Ritalin is better for me. And the reason is because shorter durations, I can plan my day around it better. I know when I need it in the morning, when I need it in the evening, and then I know how long it lasts. And because it lasts less time for me, then I can actually manage it a little bit better. And the other thing with Adderall, it really has me at sometimes space me out. And because I don't want to be spaced out anytime during the day, that kind of is a big factor that makes me move towards Ritalin. Now, this is just my opinion and my experience. You may have completely different experiences when you take either one. So find the right one for you if you want to take medication. And also, I've taken more than just these 2 medications. I've actually taken 5 different medications over 6 years. I have a video on that that explains the experiences about the additional medications